You're now joined by Winnie Sun, Managing Director and Founding Partner at Sun Growth Wealth Partners. Winnie, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Kristen.
Okay, so we're going to talk about several things. We're going to start with GoPro and what's been going on in this company. We just learned that the company is going to be laying off 15% of its workforce, or about 200 people, focusing in on these cameras that really resonate with its adrenaline-seeking audience in terms of people loving to take these when they're out skiing or snowboarding or diving or whatever it may be. Is this the right move for the company to focus in on this, ditch the entertainment business for now?
Well, I don't think they have much of a choice. They need to get their expenses down and they need to get revenues up. And so they have to, at the end of the year, go ahead and do cuts. So they're gonna decrease their spending tremendously here, and hopefully that'll pay off for shareholders to come back and buy some shares. But it's really too early to see. I think this is not enough. I think they really need to focus even more on profitability. We saw that Karma drone that they released. That thing was a complete flop, and that certainly didn't help the situation at all.
Well, I know that you've got a lot of wealthy clients who may be interested in the tech sector because of the consumer prominence in some of these brands. How do you advise them on selecting some of these gadget makers, given that the hype can be very, very high at one point and there can be a lot of excitement, but then over time, when things like this happen, it wanes. So when you look at the news and your clients come to you, what do you tell them?
We tell them to focus on things like earnings, focus on cash on hand, focus on companies that you think will do well, not just today, but in the long haul. So we're looking for longevity, we're looking for great leadership, because GoPro not only let go, 15% of their staff, but their president, Tony Bates, is stepping down as well. So who's going to take over? Where's leadership going to be? There's so many other factors. I really don't like chasing something that has fallen so much. I mean, GoPro stocks dropped more than 50%. So we're looking for longevity. We're looking for themes and companies that have plenty of cash, that are looking at diversification. I mean, you see a lot of great names out there that are doing good things, not in just one segment, but multiple segments, like the Googles of the world, the Facebooks of the world. They are really changing technology, as we know, in multiple facets.
But do you have clients who come to you excited when a GoPro, when it actually went public? Did you have a lot of excitement at that time? Are people asking you, for example, maybe when are we going to get in on AppNexus or Snapchat, all these rumors?
Oh, absolutely. Everybody is interested in that new flavor of ice cream that comes out. But, that's okay. If you're in that situation, everything in moderation, right? So if you do want to buy something like that, just make sure it's a reasonable amount and that you're able to weather the storm. And oftentimes it does pay to sit back a little bit and watch how the company does for a little bit longer before jumping in, especially if it's very valuable assets for yourself, if it's for retirement, if it's for your child's college education. These are very serious investing strategies. So better to stick with things that we know long-term have performed well already.
Even though GoPro wants to focus in on its core, does that mean it tries to make a camera that is more appealing to the mainstream? Or when we say focus on its core, does that mean it's going to continue to just try and attract the users that have wanted to buy these cameras for so long?
Yeah, they have to increase market share, because right now they've been strong in creating. The Hero 5 is a great product, but still, nonetheless, people see it as an action camera. So when they came out with the drone, the Karma, that was exciting. But then you had a $700 plus camera that flew in the sky for a little bit, lost power, and fell to the ground. So you gotta make sure to resonate not just with those action camera enthusiasts, but everybody who's doing video, who's doing Facebook Live, who's taking photos and movies of their kids. It has to be something that resonates to a much broader audience, because that will drive additional revenue, that will get earnings up, and that will get shareholders much more interested in the stock.
Winnie, today's a day where, ironically, the Dow ended at a record high, and yet volatility was also up. Usually what you see down here on the floor of the stock exchange is that as the market rises, volatility falls. But if volatility is picking up, which it is still at very low levels, does that present an opportunity, broadly speaking, in the market for young people, for millennials to get in?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think volatility is absolutely crucial, and we're probably going to see a lot more of it, especially now that Trump is coming to office. But nonetheless, I think if you're a millennial, if you're Gen Z, or even if you're Gen X, if you're looking to add, I would wait. Volatility goes up and it also goes down. I think what we're going to do is we're going to see more volatility, but we're going to see some downside volatility as well. And those are the situations I think that you should go ahead and consider adding. Right now, volatility is going up, but it can't always go up. It's been 7+ years. You should expect a turn down at some point.
Now, are there certain sectors that you think are going to be more volatile than others in the new year? So maybe certain sectors, certain ETFs, or even funds that investors should be eyeing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the key thing is to take a look at the segments that you think might do well. This year, Trump has said he's going to spend more money in infrastructure. He's thinking about lowering taxes. These things will all come into play. Also, he's already told us that he's also thinking about putting additional tariffs on those who are manufacturing products to be sold here in the United States. So things are going to get more expensive. Where should we be spending money? Where do you think what will do well for you long term? So segments such as, I love technology. I think technology is something that's always going to be very interesting. They're changing the way that we live. Things are getting easier. There's a lot of innovation. Technology is a segment I still feel very, very strongly about. In addition, I think we can't discount the importance of healthcare, right? Apple just announced they're also going to do a lot more technology in the healthcare arena. That's interesting. And we can talk about things that are, I think you have to focus on stocks that are paying nice, heavy dividends. Companies that have great cash. There's a lot of tech companies. There are a lot of telecom companies. There's other things that you can look at. So those are the.
Now, when the election results came in on that Tuesday night earlier this month, did you send your clients a note the next morning about your thoughts and some investment strategies? Did you get a lot of emails from your clients the next morning, and what were the major concerns that they had?
Well, Hope, we were here in Southern California, so actually I was up all night watching the election, and I'm really active on Twitter, and literally as the results were coming in, my phone was lighting up. I mean, my Twitter feed was going crazy. I was getting texts from friends, and emails were coming in for comment. And certainly, I think as an investor, a lot of our clients, we've been sending out emails to them and communicating with them. The key thing is to continue to communicate. Our clients have so many questions, and they certainly were